So even as the GOP candidates are on the other side of the country, arguing over party rules and delegates, close to the same thing is going on here. Republicans are zeroing in on Utah as a test for the national election when it comes to the question of electability. Political specialist Egan is here with the story. This is interesting that Utah is such a focus.
Yeah, you know, in the GOP race for the White House, all eyes on New York for that primary just in 5 days. But the grand prize, of course, coming up in November with the general election, and that's where the real strategy is. And Utah seems being used as a litmus test of sorts for Republican candidates and pundits looking to stop Trump.
The state of Utah, a general election poll showed Hillary Clinton beating Donald Trump in Utah.
Senator Ted Cruz pointing to Utah, telling a crowd in Pennsylvania that the GOP is doomed if the party can't win the Beehive state in November.
Now, Utah is the brightest red, most conservative state in the country. If the Republican can't carry Utah, we are looking at a Walter Mondale level bloodbath nationwide.
Utah's been Republican in recent decades, but we're at a time of great turmoil in American politics. Both major political parties have grave difficulties.
GOP strategist Karl Rove in Utah Wednesday saying there's a chance Utah could end up voting Democratic in the presidential election for the first time in decades if Donald Trump becomes the Republican nominee.
The coarseness and the vulgarity with which he campaigns is distinctly not Utah.
Well, it's a smart strategy for any presidential candidate right now to talk about their electability in November.
The former chairman of Utah's GOP party saying it's a smart move for Cruz to look at Utah as a predictor of electability, but that Trump could also downplay Utah as not important in the general election.
Electability has traditionally been one of the top markers for importance of primary voters. How electable is the candidate that I'm voting for? In this presidential race, it's been not one of the top factors.
A KSL Deseret News poll showed that Trump would lose in November to either former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton or Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders here in Utah, where voters haven't gone for a Democratic presidential nominee since 1964. So definitely Senator Cruz using that poll here in Utah and then his huge win here to his political advantage.
So then we can shift our focus back to New York to see what happens, and it'll all tie together.
On Tuesday.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Lad.